Have you ever felt like you're constantly trying to do the right thing, yet somehow you're never truly at peace? You follow the rules. You keep your promises. You strive to be a good person, ethical, kind, responsible. But quietly, beneath the surface, there's a strange emptiness, a quiet voice inside that whispers, "Why does this still feel so heavy?" They told us, "Live rightly, and you'll be happy." But what if the very idea of doing right is what's making you feel caged? What if, the more you try to live correctly, the more you lose your ability to breathe freely? Pause here for a moment. You were taught to choose what is good, to avoid what is bad, to align with the expectations of your culture, your religion, your family. And that's supposed to lead to a life of peace, yes? But has it? Has trying to be a good person made you feel more alive or more anxious? Has following what's considered right made you feel liberated or just more afraid of making mistakes? This is the great paradox no one talks about. The obsession with being right often kills the joy of simply being. Osho once said, "The very idea of doing right is rooted in fear, and a life rooted in fear can never be free." And that's where we begin. This isn't about becoming rebellious. It's not a call to be immoral or unethical. It's an invitation to look deeper, to realize that many of the things you call right aren't born from your truth. They are inherited patterns, conditioning, survival tactics passed down like hand-me-down clothes. And some of those clothes don't fit anymore. Some of them never did. In today's video, we won't search for the right way to live. Instead, we'll gently let go of the wrong things we've been taught are right. We'll question the belief that morality equals truth. We'll examine how the obsession with righteousness becomes a subtle form of self-rejection. And we'll sit together, like two travelers, exploring what it really means to be free. Because maybe you don't need to keep trying harder. Maybe you need to pause, to stop chasing the approval that masquerades as virtue, to let go of the performance. Osho once said, "Be yourself. That is the only rightness I know of." And that self he spoke of, it's not the self you crafted for the world. It's the quiet one inside you, the one who watches, the one who simply is. But let's not rush. You don't have to believe anything I say, and especially not anything Osho says. Just listen. Let the words land, not on your intellect, but in the silence beneath your thoughts. This isn't a sermon. This is a mirror, a moment to gently wonder, why does trying to be right so often feel wrong? There's a story Osho once told. A man lived his entire life following every rule in the book. He prayed at the right time. He helped his neighbors. He gave to the poor. He never lied, cheated, or harmed anyone. But when he died, he felt nothing but sorrow. He whispered to the sky, "I did everything right. Why did I never feel alive?" Osho says this man lived a life of duty, not of truth. Morality imposed from the outside is slavery. Real morality is born of consciousness. Unless it grows from within, it is not yours. It is just a mask. Osho, the book of understanding. This is the heart of the matter. The more you try to live by someone else's definition of goodness, the farther you drift from your inner compass. Have you noticed how often you hesitate to speak your truth because you're afraid it might not sound correct? How you suppress a laugh, a tear, an impulse, just to stay in line. We are taught from childhood to obey, to behave, to earn love by doing right. But no one teaches us how to feel, how to be real, how to live without fear of rejection. Osho never said, "Become immoral." He said, "Become awake." The real question is not whether you are moral or immoral. The real question is, are you aware? Are you conscious? Because out of awareness, love arises. Out of awareness, compassion arises. Out of awareness, you will not hurt another. But it will be spontaneous, not a rule, not a duty. Osho, freedom, the courage to be yourself. Imagine for a moment, you're walking through a garden. No signs, no fences, no commandments. Just flowers, sunlight, silence. You feel joy, not because someone told you to, but because life itself pulses in you without effort. That's what Osho calls natural morality. It's not practiced, it simply blooms when the fear of doing wrong dissolves. He explains that the idea of doing right often leads to a constant inner battle. You live in judgment of yourself. Was that good enough? Did I say the right thing? What will they think of me? This mental noise drowns your inner silence. And without silence, there is no space for real insight. In one of his talks, Osho laughed and said, "People become so righteous, they forget how to dance. They forget how to be childlike. They forget how to make mistakes and laugh. They become saints with dry hearts and frozen eyes." Osho's insight wasn't to destroy virtue, it was to expose the ego hidden behind it. Because sometimes, your desire to do right is not love, it's your ego trying to be superior. You donate money so you can feel good about yourself. You follow the rules so others will admire you. You suppress your feelings so you look disciplined. But at what cost? Trying to be good can be the most dangerous ego trip, because it looks holy, but it poisons the soul. Osho, the mustard seed. So what does Osho offer in return? Not rules, not commandments, not a moral code. He offers freedom, a chance to live from awareness, not anxiety, from presence, not performance. He invites you to sit in silence, to feel what is true for you without comparing it to a doctrine. He says, just watch yourself without judgment. Let your actions arise from clarity, not compulsion. Then, even your mistakes will carry beauty. Even your imperfections will shine with authenticity. This is not easy, because your whole life you've been rewarded for being right, praised for self-control, loved for obedience. But true freedom begins the day you stop trying to be someone and simply start being. Even if you make others uncomfortable, even if you break a few unspoken rules. As Osho said, the only sin is to not be yourself. Let's be clear, this is not chaos. This is not lawlessness. This is the beginning of trust. Trusting that your inner light is enough, that you don't need to earn worth through perfection. So, what if you stopped trying to be good and started trying to be real? What if, instead of polishing your image, you honored your truth even when it's messy? What if the greatest act of courage is to stop performing? Pause here, breathe. You're not being asked to change anything right now, just to see how much of your right living is really fear in disguise, to see how much of your morality is someone else's voice, still echoing in you. And in that seeing, there is a kind of lightness, a kind of freedom. No commandments, no guilt. Just a gentle return to your own center. You've spent so many years trying to do the right thing, to be good, to be kind, to be acceptable, to be respected. You've worn the masks they gave you, and some of those masks fit so tightly now, you've forgotten what your real face looks like. But what if you stopped? Not out of rebellion, not out of anger, but out of awareness. What if you didn't try to do the right thing anymore, and instead simply responded to each moment freely? No script, no obligation, no fear of being seen. Just you, in your raw, breathing truth. Osho says, drop all masks. You are not here to be someone else's idea of good. You are here to be utterly yourself. And that self is not a product of thought. It is a flame of awareness. Now, let the words fade. Let the teachings melt into the silence. Because what Osho was really pointing to was not another belief, not another way to live. He was inviting you to stop seeking, to sit, to feel, to trust the simplicity of your own breath. No need to do anything right. No need to undo anything wrong. Just this stillness, this moment, this you. Perhaps the most sacred thing you can do now is not improve, but return. Return to the place before right and wrong were ever taught, to the innocence of pure being. When you were a child running barefoot through the grass, not wondering if it was righteous, just alive. When you laughed without control, when you cried without shame, you didn't know what the right thing was, and you were free. that freedom is still here, behind the opinions, behind the habits, behind the roles and expectations. You don't need to reach for it. You just need to stop gripping the illusion. Maybe you don't need a philosophy. Maybe you don't need a guide. Maybe you don't even need Osho. He said it himself. Don't follow me. I am not here to lead you. I am here to help you become your own light. So now, turn your gaze inward, not with effort, just with presence.
No answers. No conclusions.
Only space. Listen, not to me, not to Osho, not to your past. Listen to the silence within you, the one that was always waiting, and let it speak. Let it hold you. Let it guide you, not toward being better, but toward being real, right here, right now, free.